Well, the big issue for industry from this policy is also real. Just listen today to Sanjeev Gandhi that I spoke to, the boss of the world's biggest industrial explosives company, Orica. Now remember that Orica needs gas not just to burn for energy, but most importantly is a key ingredient for his business's products.
We use it predominantly as a raw material, and out of gas we manufacture critical products that go into the food industry, the fertilizer industry, the beverage industry, as well as obviously the resource industry. So it's mission critical for us to get cost competitive gas in the adequate supplies, and we are a major consumer of gas, especially in New South Wales, but also in Queensland and Western Australia.
And that full interview with Sanjeev Gandhi will be on Business Weekend this Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, a man who will have plenty of those anecdotes, no doubt, is Andrew McKellar, Chief Executive of the Australian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He joins me now. Andrew, many thanks for your time. I mean, what you heard Sanjeev Gandhi say there, what we heard also talked about the energy and the electric volatility that we have in this country. That's a real thing which affects the competitiveness of your members, of manufacturers.
Well, that's absolutely right, Ross. So, I mean, business industry are looking for two things. They are looking for reliable, affordable, sustainable energy solutions for the future. And equally in manufacturing, as has been pointed out, gas can be a very vital feedstock in the manufacturing process. So I think today's strategy, it's a very welcome step, a very positive step, and I think something that the business community broadly will be welcoming. It sends a very positive signal that gas is an important part of the transition to net zero. We need to encourage exploration. We need to encourage production, the investment. As one of your previous guests was saying, that does take time, but having that signal now I think is fundamentally important. And of course, it's not just the federal government. I think one of the comments that you've made there a moment ago points to the fact that state governments as well have got a real responsibility here to set this up for the future. Otherwise, it's going to be households and it's going to be businesses that are going to lose out.
And we should give credit to the government here because this comes with political risk. This is doing the right thing, not the politically expedient thing, because there are going to be areas where the Labor Party is vulnerable, especially in some, sort of green leading seats.
Oh, and we've seen some of that commentary today. But no, look, you are exactly right. I mean, I think the government does deserve credit here. I think the Minister, Madeleine King, I think this is a very courageous piece of work by her and good work by the government because I think it is sending a very positive signal that will get out there to investors. It gets out to business, to industry, and it says that there can be solutions now. Obviously, those long-term plans to get to net zero, we all stand by those, but gas is an important part of that transition.
Okay, so Sanjeev Gandhi at Orica, or let's say BHP or Brickworks, they can set up operations in America and make a choice as to where they invest their capital. Sanjeev Gandhi told me they basically make a lot more money in America than what they can make here in Australia because of, in particular, the price of gas. But if you're running a pizza shop, if you're running any other small foundry here in Australia, you can't actually make those decisions. You have to live in this world. Are companies in this country becoming less competitive because of the reliability of supply and the price of gas?
Well, we've seen what it can do to manufacturers. We've seen in the recent weeks the situation with Qenos, one of our only producers of soft plastics in the country. They've gone into administration. The price of gas for them has been a big factor. Of course, the situation for major companies, major manufacturers like Orica, they do have some flexibility about where they put their future investment. But yeah, for a lot of businesses, small and medium-sized businesses, they are price takers. They have to pay for the energy as it comes. They have to rely on that supply. We do need that investment pipeline if we're going to avoid the volatility. And we've seen, the forecasts there from EMO, the gas supply outlook, there are real risks, and it's not too far down the track. The next couple of years, we could have shortfalls, and the further down we go, the greater that risk gets.
Andrew McKellar, always good to chat to you, and many thanks for your time today.